My child, come, sit with me for a moment. Hush the noise of the world and quiet the anxieties that race through your mind. I want to speak to your heart, not with the distant thunder of a king on a throne, but with the gentle whisper of a father who holds you closer than your own breath. You have known my blessings. You have felt the warmth of my son on your face and tasted the sweetness of joys I have placed along your path. Life in those moments feels like a beautiful song, and you believe that this melody is the only sign of my favor. But life in its wholeness is a grand symphony, and a symphony is not composed only of high, joyful notes. It has moments of deep, resonant sorrow, passages of tense silence, and movements of thunderous, clashing chords. If there is a sunrise that paints the sky with hope, there is also the deep, starless dark of midnight. If there are seasons of harvest and plenty, there are also seasons of fallow ground and bitter frost. You have received good news from my hand, and your heart has soared. Today, however, I bring you news of a different kind. It is a truth that may feel heavy in your spirit, a word that may seem like a burden. Listen to me closely, for this news is not meant to break you. It is not a punishment or a sign of my anger. It is a map for the journey you are on, an awakening to the true nature of the path that leads home to me. For too long, you have mistakenly believed that comfort is the proof of my presence, and that hardship is the mark of my absence. This is 𝐒𝐃 understanding, and I am calling you now into a deeper wisdom. Hear this truth, and let it settle in the very marrow of your bones. Both the gentle streams of joy and the raging rivers of suffering find their source in the ocean of my sovereign will. Both are instruments in my hands, and both are used to sculpt you, with infinite love, into the masterpiece I envisioned before the foundations of the world were laid. The news I bring is bitter to the taste, like a potent medicine. Yet within its bitterness lies a profound sweetness, the sweetness of unshakable strength, the hidden seed of a glorious transformation, and the key to a treasure that time cannot erode, your eternal purpose. So here is the news, spoken plainly because my love for you is too honest to offer you deceit. You will not live a life free from pain. You will not be able to build a fortress so high that loss cannot scale its walls. The road you travel will not always be smooth and paved, lined with flowers and cheering crowds. There will be stretches of sharp stones, steep inclines, and suffocating dust. The people you love with all your heart will at times fail you, not always from malice but from their own human brokenness. The projects you pour your soul into, the works of your hands that you believe define you, will sometimes collapse into ruin. The dreams you hold so tenderly, the visions for your future that you cherish like precious jewels, may shatter before your eyes. There will be nights when you will cry tears of such a specific and personal sorrow that no one on earth will have the words to comfort you. You will walk through valleys of shadow so deep and so personal that even your most loyal friend cannot walk beside you, for the path is yours alone to tread. This is the truth of the mortal journey. But please, my beloved child, hear the rest of what I am saying. This truth is not a curse. It is a profound key. In telling you that you cannot escape the fire, I am simultaneously promising you that the fire will not consume you. In revealing the certainty of the storm, I am teaching you that I am the master of the winds and the waves. I am the one who numbers your days and holds your future in my hands. Every moment of your existence, from the most radiant to the most desolate, has been woven into the magnificent fabric of my eternal design. I have measured every ounce of sorrow you will ever face. I have permitted every loss you will ever endure, knowing its ultimate purpose. I have counted every tear that has ever fallen from your eyes, and not one has been wasted. Though your current vantage point is limited and you cannot see the finished work, I am using these very moments of pressure and pain to shape within you a glory that will never tarnish, a beauty that will never fade. Do not ever believe that I delight in your suffering. I am not a cruel deity who finds pleasure in the pain of my creation. I am a father who disciplines the child I love, not for my satisfaction, but for their ultimate good. I am a shepherd who sometimes leads my flock through treacherous terrain to bring them to lush, protected pastures. I am a potter who, with loving and expert hands, molds the clay. When a lump of clay is stiff and resists the gentle shaping of the potter's hand, it must be pressed more firmly. Sometimes, it must even be broken down completely, wetted and reworked, so that it can become the beautiful and useful vessel it was always meant to be. When gold is dug from the earth, it is dull and filled with impurities. It must be cast into the crucible, into the hottest part of the fire, so that the dross can be burned away and the pure, shining metal can emerge. When a seed holds the potential for a great tree, it must first be buried in the cold, dark earth. It must be pressed down, hidden from the sun, and seemingly forgotten, so that it can break open and send its roots deep and its shoot upward. So it is with you, my child. The trials are my tools of transformation. The news I bring today is a preparation for your heart. More trials are on the horizon. There will be more storms. Therefore, do not be bewildered when the winds begin to howl and the waves crash against the foundations of your life. Do not be shaken to your core when your most fervent prayers seem to be met with an echoing silence from the heavens. Do not fall into despair when your own strength gives out and the path before you is completely obscured in fog. I have told you these things in advance, so that when they come, you will remember my words and know that even this is part of the plan. The road to my eternal kingdom is not a wide, easy, downward-sloping highway. It is a narrow, steep, and often difficult path. But the most important truth is this: I walk that path with you. I am beside you in you and for you with every single step. I will never, ever leave you or forsake you. You may cry out in your heart, but why, Lord? Why must it be this way? Why can't the journey be one of uninterrupted peace and ease? Listen with all your being, my child. If all your days were filled with ease and comfort, your heart would grow fat and lazy, and you would forget your need for me. If you never experienced pain, you would never truly understand the depths of my healing power. If you never knew the sting of loss, you would never learn to treasure that which is eternal and cannot be taken away. If you never walked through seasons of profound darkness, you would never be able to fully appreciate the breathtaking brilliance of my light when it dawns. The struggle is not your ultimate enemy. It is your most profound teacher. The storm is not sent to drown you, but to teach you how to fix your eyes on me and walk on the water of faith. The wilderness is not a place to starve you, but a classroom to show you that I can provide heavenly manna even in the most desolate of places. So yes, here is the bad news again, laid bare. There will be more nights before the final, unending dawn. There will be more battles to be fought before the ultimate victory is declared. There will be more wounds to your heart before you experience the final, complete healing in my presence. But here is the deeper, more powerful and eternal truth that swallows up that bad news. You are not alone. You have never been alone and you will never be alone. When you feel most abandoned, I am closer to you than the air in your lungs. When you feel weak and on the verge of collapse, my everlasting strength is what holds you up. When you stumble and fall, it is my infinite mercy that catches you and sets you back on your feet. When doubt screams in your ears and your faith feels like a flickering candle in a hurricane, it is my spirit that whispers truth deep within you, calling you back to the anchor of hope. Do not despise the valleys, for I am the Lord of the valleys just as I am the Lord of the mountaintops, and it is in the low places that the deepest streams of my grace flow. Do not curse the storm, for I am the one who commands its waves to be still. Do not fear the refining fire, for I am walking with you in its very midst, and not a hair on your head will be singed beyond what I, in my wisdom, 𝐆𝐿𝐃 for your purification. Even your losses are not true losses in my economy. I am the God of restoration, and I will restore to you in ways and in seasons you cannot possibly imagine. Even the tears you shed are not wasted. They are watering the sacred soil of your destiny, and from that sorrowful ground, a harvest of unimaginable joy and strength will spring forth in its due time. I know you look around and see others who seem to be prospering while you are struggling. You see their smooth paths, their answered prayers, their unbroken joy, and your heart aches with the question, Lord, why me? Why is my road so much harder? Hear my heart on this, my child. Comparison is a thief that will blind you to the unique and beautiful plan I have for your life. The path I am carving for you is tailor-made for your soul. It is yours and yours alone. If I, as the divine gardener, give one plant abundant rain and another plant a season of drought, it is not because I am cruel or unfair. It is because I am wise, and I know precisely what each individual seed needs to grow into its fullest potential. Trust my wisdom, for I know you far better than you know yourself. The bad news feels so heavy because your human heart naturally longs for a world without a conflict, a life of joy without any sorrow, a taste of heaven while you are still on earth. But this world is not your final home. It is the training ground. It is a place of testing, refining, and preparation for an eternity of glory with me. Every hardship you endure is shaping your character for an eternal weight of glory. Every scar you accumulate in this life will one day shine like a star in my kingdom, a testament to the battles you fought and the grace that brought you through. Every question that goes unanswered now will one day be made perfectly clear in the light of my presence. You do not yet see the full masterpiece that I am weaving. You see only the back of the tapestry, a chaotic jumble of crossed threads, knots, and seemingly random colors. It looks like a mess, but one day I will turn it over and you will see the breathtaking picture I have been creating all along. On that day, you will look back and you will thank me, not just for the easy days, but even for the days that once shattered your heart. Do not mistake my delays for denials. Do not mistake my silence for my absence. And above all, do not mistake my discipline for punishment. I discipline those I love. I prune the branches that I want to bear more fruit. I lead my beloved sheep even through the valley of the shadow of death, because I know the way through to the other side. When you feel pressed beyond all measure, when you feel you are at your absolute breaking point, remember that I know your limits perfectly. I fashioned you, and I promise you that I will not allow you to be tested beyond what you can endure with the strength that I freely provide. So the bad news is not meant to crush you, but to prepare you. Greater battles may await, but that is because greater victories are in store for you. Deeper sorrows may come, but they will carve out in you a capacity for deeper and more profound joys. You will lose some things that you hold dear, but in letting them go, you will make room to receive eternal treasures that can never fade or be taken from you. This world will wound you, but I will be your healer. This journey will wear you out, but I will be your renewal. This life will come to an end, but I will give you a new, eternal life that death cannot touch. Therefore, grieve when you must grieve. Your tears are not a sign of weak faith, they are a sign of a loving heart. Cry when the pain is overwhelming, but in your grief and your tears, do not let go of hope. Fall when you stumble, for the path is hard, but by my grace rise again. You are not walking toward destruction, you are walking toward redemption. The road is steep, but it leads home. My child, hear my heart one last time. The news of coming hardship is true, but the promise of my presence is a greater and more powerful truth. You will face nights of profound loneliness, but I will be your constant companion. You will face the sting of betrayal, but I will remain your faithful and true friend. You will face devastating loss, but I will be your everlasting inheritance. You will one day face your own death, but I am your resurrection and your life without end. Therefore, hold fast to me. Do not let your heart grow bitter and hard. Do not let the suffocating darkness convince you that I have abandoned you. Do not let the enemy's whispers of despair drown out the steady, unchanging melody of my truth. Even when you feel completely empty, lift your empty hands to me, for I am your fullness. Even when you feel utterly powerless, call upon my name, for I am your infinite strength. Even when you feel forgotten and invisible to the world, remember this. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands. You are ever before me. I will never, ever forsake you. The journey ahead is long, and some nights will feel as if they will never end. But the dawn is certain. The sorrow may feel like it will last for a lifetime, but joy will have the final word. The cross you are asked to carry may feel impossibly heavy, but the resurrection is sure. Trust me, my child. Trust my heart, even when you cannot see my hand. I am the author of your story, and I am a master storyteller. I will bring your story to a glorious and beautiful completion. Not one promise I have spoken over you will ever fail. Not one of your tears will have been wasted. Not one of your battles will have been in vain. Now let us speak of how you are to walk this path. To know that winter is coming is not to live in fear. It is to live with wisdom. To prepare is to acknowledge reality with eyes that are both clear-sighted and full of faith. It is to listen to my wisdom and use the gifts I have given you. Your mind, your hands, your community, your discipline, to steward your life well. I did not create you to be as fragile as a pane of glass, shattering at the first impact. I wove into your spirit a divine fiber, a resilience that can bend in the fiercest winds and not break, if you choose to train and strengthen it. The difficult days are an inevitable part of this earthly landscape, but how you meet them can become a holy act, a sacrament of trust, a powerful testimony to my presence, and a profound refinement of your character. You practice this truth in small ways every day. You put on a coat before stepping into the cold wind. You learn to cook a meal long before the pangs of hunger strike. You teach your children to look both ways before crossing the street. These are all small rehearsals for a much larger spiritual posture. The one who prepares does not live in a state of constant anxious dread. Instead, they live with a clarified gaze, able to discern what truly matters and what is merely a distraction. Preparation clears the suffocating fog of panic. When the unexpected storm arrives, the prepared heart does not collapse. It can act with calm, think with clarity, and love with steadfastness. And yet, I say to you, do not let your preparations become rigid and lifeless. Do not let your methods from past trials become unquestioned rituals. If the last storm you faced was a wildfire, do not spend all your energy preparing only for fire, for the next storm may be a flood. If a past betrayal wounded you, do not build your life around impenetrable walls that keep out not only future pain, but also future love. Prepare in all ways. Be flexible, be inventive, be generous, be imaginative. Learn new skills, even those that seem unrelated to your current life. Cultivate friendships with people different from you. Practice humility daily, for pride is a brittle armor. Strengthen your inner resources of creativity and resolve. Rehearse small acts of courage, speaking a difficult truth, asking for help, choosing kindness when you feel slighted, so that when a great act of courage is required, your spirit will not be paralyzed by surprise. To prepare is to practice adaptability. The river does not fight the great boulder in its path. It yields, it curves, it deepens its own channel, and it finds a new course around the obstacle. So let your heart be like water, strong enough to wear down stone over time, gentle enough to nourish life and pliable enough to move around that which you cannot move through. When you become fanatically attached to a single plan, a single outcome, you bind your own spirit. When you depend on a single person to be your entire source of happiness and security, you set yourself up for utter devastation should that person falter or depart. Build many anchors. Build practical ones. Save a portion of your income, learn a trade, build a network of colleagues, and build spiritual ones. Establish a rhythm of prayer, invest deeply in a community of faith, serve others without seeking reward, and practice honest self-knowledge. You will encounter some who teach that preparation is only a practical matter of stockpiling resources, and others who teach that it is only a spiritual matter of prayer. Both are right, and both are profoundly incomplete. There is no sacred wall between your hands and your soul. A prayer that never inspires you to move your feet and help another is a hollow echo. A practical skill that is never used to honor me or serve my children is a shallow pursuit. True, holy preparation integrates all the parts of who you are. Feed your mind with knowledge, but temper that knowledge with deep compassion. Strengthen your body with discipline, but temper that strength with gentle rest. Accumulate resources for the future, but temper that accumulation with radical generosity today. A hoarded treasure becomes a cold, dark prison. A shared treasure becomes the seed of a kingdom. Do not think you prepare only against troubles that come from the outside. Some of your darkest days will rise from within your own heart. The day when despair pulls up a chair at your table and refuses to leave. The day when the voice of shame from your past speaks louder than my voice of truth. The day when anger becomes a raging furnace that consumes all forgiveness and grace. Prepare your inner landscape now. Name your shadows, drag them into the light of my presence, and allow my grace to heal them. Practice prayer that is brutally honest, that looks upon your own faults not with denial, but with a desire for redemption. Learn the art of forgiving others while the wound is still fresh, so that the sharp blade of bitterness cannot take root and poison your soul. Cultivate gratitude, even for the smallest of mercies. A cup of cool water, a single deep breath, the comforting ache in your muscles that reminds you that you have lived and worked and loved. Gratitude builds an inner storehouse of joy that years of hardship cannot fully deplete. I tell you plainly, my child, that no matter how much you achieve, no matter how many blessings you gather, your human heart will sometimes still ache for the one blessing you never received. That ache is a universal part of the human condition. It is not a sign of your spiritual failure. It is the echo of Eden, the memory of the perfect home that drew your spirit into being. It is the persistent sense that something beautiful was promised and is not yet fully fulfilled. I allow some of these longings to remain because they keep you tender and they keep you seeking. I fulfill some of them in ways you could never have imagined. I transform others into different unexpected gifts. But that quiet weeping for the unreached desire is a fine, silver thread I have woven into the fabric of human longing. It keeps you yearning for the divine, for completion, for me. Do not be ashamed of those tears. Let them be honest offerings that refine your faith. Because you will always carry this thread of longing, you must not anchor your ultimate security in the fulfillment of any earthly desire. If your deepest hope is attached to one specific outcome, the face of a certain spouse, the healthy laughter of a particular child, the success of one cherished dream, then the absence of that one thing will feel like a cataclysm that shatters your entire world. Instead, root your ultimate hope in me, for I am the only unshakable ground in the universe. Then the loss of a desired thing will be a deep and legitimate sorrow, but it will not be an annihilation. Your heart will grieve, and through that very grief, it will grow in its capacity to love even more dearly that which remains. Prepare with your relationships. Loneliness is one of the cruelest wines you will face. When your only circle is one of shallow acquaintances or faces on a screen, The nights of sorrow will feel impossibly long and cold. Cultivate a few companions who will do more than offer platitudes. Find the ones who will simply sit with you in the silence when words fail. Love the friends who will tell you the hard truth, even when it stings, because they love your soul more than your approval. And learn to ask for help early. Pride is a false fortress. It only delays the rescue. When you learn to lean on your community, when you allow others to carry a corner of your burden, you not only ensure your own survival, but you model a way of life that brings light and hope to everyone around you. Remember, my child, that your preparation must always include the posture of surrender. Being ready does not mean you must control every variable. You prepare by faithfully doing everything within your power, and then you open your hands and offer the outcome to me. Practice this sacred paradox: strength in your action and softness in your surrender. This is not passive resignation. It is a brave and measured trust that says, I will act with integrity in the small sphere I can influence, and I will trust your loving sovereignty over the vast expanse that I cannot. This balance will save you from both the frantic anxiety of a control freak and the lazy fatalism that wastes the gifts I have given you. When I say to prepare, I mean for you to be creative in your response. Do not scorn the methods of others. One person will prepare by canning food. Another will prepare by learning to mediate a conflict. Another will prepare by deepening their prayer life until it is an unshakable fortress. Another will prepare by mentoring the next generation, pouring wisdom and time into young souls. There is wisdom in many paths. The crucial thing is that the heart is actively cultivated to be ready for whatever may come. You must also prepare to meet your suffering with meaning. Meaning does not remove pain, but it transforms it. A person who can fit their suffering into a larger theory, a story of growth, of service, of learning to love more deeply, will not be consumed by despair. When sorrow arrives, ask not only why is this happening, but also what is this shaping in me? How might this pain make me more compassionate, more humble, more like you? Some wounds teach you a profound empathy for others who are hurting. Some losses clarify what is truly important in life. Some betrayals teach you the invaluable gift of discernment. Meaning is not a denial of pain. It is a courageous and honest search for the redemptive purpose within it. Finally, my child, I say this: prepare with a faith that is both practical and tender. Faith without works is a bird with one wing. It can only flutter in circles on the ground. Works without faith are a body without a soul. It may move, but it has no life. Let your faith inform your every action, and let your every action be a testimony to your faith. When the trial comes and you meet it with preparedness, when you have a plan but remain flexible, when you have resources but are willing to share them, when your heart is prayerful and your hands are busy in good work, you will find me right there in the midst of your doing. I will meet your preparation with my provision. Your small, faithful acts will be multiplied beyond your comprehension. Do not demand that I explain everything before you are willing to act. So many of my children wait for perfect clarity, as if it were a spotlight that must first illuminate the entire path before they will take a single step. I ask you to move with the light you have, trusting that as you walk, I will illuminate the next step and the next. Move now in small, faithful ways. Make a budget. Learn a new skill. Make peace with an old enemy. Save a small sum of money. Invite a lonely neighbor for a meal. Practice a prayer of gratitude each morning. These small acts accumulate. They are the bricks and mortar with which you build a fortress of grace. Go now with this truth settled in your heart. Go with courage, prepare well, love fiercely, mourn deeply when you must, and celebrate joyfully whenever you can. And remember always that preparation is not an act of fear. It is a profound act of hope. It is the way your heart says to the future, whatever you bring, I will meet you. I will meet you with hands that are ready to work, a mind that is ready to learn, a spirit that is ready to trust, and a heart that is ready to love. And in that meeting, I will be there. I am with you always. I am the unchanging anchor beneath your every step, and nothing, not pain, not loss, not failure, not even death itself, can ever separate you from my everlasting love and care. Amen.